Are you waiting for the absolute perfect time to invest in real estate? Well, here's the truth. Waiting for the right moment might actually cost you more in the long run. In this video, we will break down why now could be the ideal time to start investing, the key scenarios where it makes sense to hold off, and how to make the smartest decisions for your specific unique situation. Plus, I will share my proven strategies that can help you build lasting and growing wealth through real estate, no matter where the market is headed. So let's get started. So the question is always going to be, well, what if I buy now and prices drop? What if the market crashes like 2008? Should I wait for better interest rates or a lower price? Guys, all these are valid questions. Everybody's asked these. I've even asked these. But learn from my mistakes. First off, when the market crashed in 08, 09, I owned real estate before that happened. And guess what? I did not care what that real estate was worth. Because one of the benefits we have about real estate is, unlike this thing right here, every single day the stock market tells us, here's what we're willing to pay for you. So if it goes down a lot, we feel like, oh my God, we're worth less money. We log into our account and we look at it and say, holy cow, my account's a lot lower. The same thing doesn't happen for real estate. In real estate, you have your single family home that you rent out, and there's no ticker right here saying this thing is worth $1 million and then goes up and down with the market. That doesn't exist. Yeah, I know. There's Zillow. But guys, you're not going to check Zillow every day. You shouldn't check Zillow every day. Zillow is a great place to look at for comps every so often. But for real estate, the benefit you have is you sit there and your job is just to rent it out, renovate it, increase your rents, collect your rent, and make more money. And guess what? If prices drop like they did back then, you know what you should do? You should buy a ton of real estate. I bought 100 single family homes from 09 to 12, and I just did the values on them the other day, and it was disgusting how much they've gone up in value, and I freaking love it. Now, the interesting thing is, from 2009 to 10, rates fell, but they weren't as low as they were in 2021 or 2022. Did I wait for that time? No, I didn't. Why? Because the investments made sense back then. And the great thing about real estate is when you buy a piece of real estate and lock in a rate, you're going to lock that rate in for 5, 10, or 30 years or some long period of time. Who cares where rates go? If they go lower, you know what you can do? You can refinance, and you can refinance pretty cheap. And your property will go up a ton, and your cash flow will be better for it. And if rates go up, guess what? Nothing happens to you. You're not affected at all. You just keep collecting that rent and paying that low interest rate. Don't worry about what's happening in the short run. You don't have to worry about the emotional parts of seeing the market go up and down like this. Hell, the other day I was looking at some of our single family homes that I hadn't checked in years, and I'm like, oh my God, this thing is worth that much money now? I did not check. Why? Because all along the way, I was collecting rents, I was paying down debt, and I was generating cash flow. And I was taking all that cash flow and upgrading houses along the way. Now, of course, these rising interest rates have affected affordability lately. But if you already own the property, that shouldn't affect you. If you're worried that as rates go higher, property values go down, why is that a worry for you? Don't you want to buy at cheaper prices? I remember during the 08, 09 crisis, when we were buying these properties, I'd go to banks and say, hey, I want you to finance me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're not investing in real estate. Well, why not? They're toxic assets. So let me just understand this correctly. You used to lend at $120,000 for this house just 3 years ago. Now that I'm buying it for 10 and putting 30 into it, and I'm asking for a loan for 40, you're telling me it's toxic? So you were willing to give me a $120,000 loan before, but now at $40,000, that's a bad thing and it's renovated? You're stupid. Guys, I don't want you to be like bankers. Bankers are dumb. You need to be smarter than bankers. You need to look at lower prices as a good thing. Inflation is great for real estate. Why? Because think about it this way, guys. As inflation increases over long periods of time, what happens to the cost to build? It goes up. What happens to incomes? They go up. Let me ask this question. If incomes doubled tomorrow, what would happen to rents? Probably double along the way, eventually. What would happen to the cost to build? It would double. What would happen then to the home prices that you own? They would double as well. These are all good things for owners of rental real estate. This is going to go very, very well for people. Now, this is a new real estate channel for us, and we're really actively engaging with people. So in the comments below, do me a favor. Comment if you're considering real estate now or if you're waiting, and let's see where everybody stands here. And if you're going to wait, tell us why you're waiting. Now, to repeat, this is why real estate is such a strong investment. it shields you from these emotional market swings. You don't have to worry about those ticker symbols going up and down. You don't have Mr. Market reminding you daily what your property is worth. Real estate lets you focus on those things I talked about before, which is increasing income, therefore increasing the property value and increasing your long-term wealth. Daily fluctuations of price don't matter as long as you're increasing your rents at a rate that's consistent with inflation or better. And speaking of inflation, inflation is your ally. I cannot repeat till I'm blue in the face. It's one of the few assets that actually benefits directly from inflation. As incomes and rents rise, so will your property values. Just go look at history. Go look at history 60 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Rents are much higher and therefore values are much higher. Guys, I know you guys have all seen it around you. Let me know what city you're from and where you've seen rents skyrocketing. It's absolutely amazing to compare these things happening. It doesn't have to be just in the big cities. In fact, some of the biggest cities where they've had all this buildup have seen some rents drop because so much inventory came to market because everyone was so excited about rising rent prices. So if you think you're in a boring city like we are in, like Cleveland, Ohio, that's where we've seen the most rent growth and the most consistently held rents staying up there. Now, of course, everybody worries about a market crash. Guys, I don't think we're having an '08 type crash again. Real estate prices nationwide have only gone down as a whole, I believe, in the '08-09 crisis. And the reason being is certain pockets will get it. Like Houston had it in the 90s when there was a bunch of oil problems, things like that. But real estate is a very local issue. But back in '08-09, we had a nationwide problem on lending. That's what drove prices so low. Lenders went from, we'll give you anything you want, to taking it all away. In fact, lenders came out and said, we're not even lending in specific cities or states. When there's no lending, what do you think is going to happen to prices? They have to fall so much that it makes sense to pay to get cash investors to buy them. And when cash is being played out, that only happens at low prices. Right now, I still see way more strict lending than there was back in '08-09. In fact, I've been annoyed by the lending standards. For me, I always joke with my bank saying, guys, if you're not willing to give me this loan at this value, who are you lending money to? Now, a counterpoint to this is, why should you wait? Are you transient? Are you in a job temporarily? Are you in a city temporarily? Are you going to move? Because guys, I don't think you should buy if you're going to do that. You might sit there and say, well, Paul, if I buy a property, I can have a third-party manager manage it for me. Guys, please don't buy real estate if you want a third-party manager to manage your property. Only buy real estate if you're going to manage yourself. Because the only people as dumb as bankers are third-party managers. I want to teach you to manage the property yourself. It is not as hard as people make out to be. It's also not as easy as a lot of people make out to be. You need to sit there and become a good manager of your real estate. And part of that's also locking in your interest rate. Lock it in for a longer period of time, even if it's only 7 or 10 years. At least that gives you time to build up rents, pay down some debt, and let inflation increase the value of your property along with your higher rents, and then you can refinance in the future. Now, guys, you still gotta remember, current interest rates are still about where historical averages are over history. And in the early 80s, we had 15, 18% interest rates. So when I hear people talk about, I was just watching $1 Million Listing LA, and I love when realtors blame the market when markets are tough. Every single episode of last season, the market's tough, the market's tough, the market's tough. When the market was good, all I heard was, look how good of a realtor I am. I'm getting higher prices. It's like, wait a second, what's going on here? But you know what they also keep saying? Just wait for real estate interest rates to go back down. Maybe. We don't know if it will, but based on history, we're about where we should be. And I'm okay with that. I like the fact that people have to sacrifice a little to own a home. It shouldn't be easy for everyone. When it's easy for everyone, we have '08 and '09. What I want your focus is be on the cash flow and the rental income. Your primary goal shouldn't be timing the market. It should be ensuring that your property generates positive cash flow and increases that cash flow over time. It's very, very important. When you look at the rent, minus the mortgages, minus all your expenses, if you can get an adequate return on your capital, something like 10 or 12% cash on cash, which is your cash flow divided by your down payment, you're probably going to do well over time if you're able to pay down debt and increase the rent. If you buy one great property per year, I'm not asking you to buy 100. One great property per year in 30 years, you could have a net worth of over $10 million. The key is purely patience and consistency. It's a lot easier than you may think. I want you to think beyond today's prices. I want you to focus on what you can build for the future. So, What's stopping you right now? Like I said above, I need to know in the comments below what's stopping you, because we're going to use these comments to make future videos. Now, guys, I own property in Texas, and I've seen the fact that 500 people a day are moving to Dallas. But guess what? I've also seen a big drop in prices in Dallas on a lot of properties I was looking at. Why? Because when there's such boom, everybody wants to go, hey, go to the fastest growing cities. I don't agree. Don't go to the fastest growing cities. Go to the cities that everybody's ignoring. Go to the boring cities that have decent population growth and good job growth. That's what'll make a lot of money for you. Because the big investors that are ignoring those cities are keeping those prices low, while the investors that are all driving to the big cities that are booming are keeping the prices high and your returns lower. Now, the good news is, because of these high rates, inventory is low, because if you have a low rate, you're only selling if you have to sell. So that's going to help keep prices high for a while. I got into real estate because my neighbor, who was a very wealthy man, said to me, Paul, I was a junior in college, and he said to me, Paul, any rich person you know, they own real estate. Clearly that wasn't true, but it sparked in me. Real estate is one of the most powerful tools to build wealth, but timing is a very small part of it. Focus on buying the right properties for the long haul. We are here to teach you that. So I need to get one quick favor for you. If this video has helped you shift the way in which you think about investing in real estate, do me a favor, like the video and subscribe for more action advice on building wealth. And don't forget to share this with somebody debating on whether they should invest now or wait. And if you want to watch our next video, check out the video on the top 5 mistakes real estate investors make for even more insights. Thank you for your time.